Hi and welcome. Today I will show you something about these. These are the Deva Pro from HiFiMan. It is actually a wireless headphone, but it can also be driven via cable, depending on what you want. I would say let's get right into it and unbox this. Just a little side note here, to be very transparent with you. HiFiMan did send these for review, but they didn't say anything what I can or cannot say. Nothing at all, actually. So everything you hear are my own honest opinion about them. And I would say let's get right into it now. So alright, this is the headphone package. It just says Deva Pro headphones, Neo Super Nano diagram, stealth magnets, nothing more, nothing less. Here you see some specifications, impedance 18 ohms, sensitivity 93 dB, and the weight is 360 grams. Alright, so let's see what's in the package. There we go. Here we are. This is the headphones. Here you have a little package again. And here is the cable, I guess, and the little dongle for the Bluetooth connection. Alright, that's it. Here's the cable for charging it. It feels like a rubber material. It's not sleeved, sadly. I like sleeved cables a little bit better. Alright, so here are the headphones. Yeah, that's how they look. Maybe you can also see a little bit of the grill inside. You can see a little bit of it. Not sure if it's the camera caught it, but that's how they look inside of them. They do have a swivel. And yeah, they can be adjusted in a height like this. This is the maximum. It's quite high actually. I don't think I have such a big head, but yeah, that's it pretty much from them. Also, here on the back side it says you can put like the dongle here. I guess like this. Yep, fits quite nicely. And here you can charge them. And here's a little button you can click. Yeah, feels quite decent. And you can also use this one as a headphone stand. But yeah, I don't know. You can use it, you don't have to, of course. Alright, so what can I say about them after having testing them for a bit? First about the build quality. It is an open back headphone with stealth magnets. Build-wise itself, it is kind of decent, I would say. There's quite a lot of plastic, like the sides here, plastic. Like this one doesn't feel like very premium, like the slider here. But all in all, they are quite usable. The headband, personally, I really don't like it. I like suspension headbands just because they don't make a pressure spot on top of my head. Otherwise, what else I can say about the build quality of them? The ear pads, I really like them actually. They're plushy, you don't really feel them much on your head. The clamp force of them is not strong, actually not strong. Otherwise, another thing that I recognize that may be not an issue for you, but something you need to maybe be aware of if you have long hair, for example, and you like to wear them open, like mine, for example. If you put them on the sides, like these little screws you see here, sometimes my hair gets caught in it, like when I put them off or something and I touch my hair a bit, sometimes it gets stuck in there. But of course, this is just something you can be aware of, or if you don't have long hair, it's not even an issue at all. Also, the dongle here, that's with them for making them wireless. It feels quite lightweight, a bit plastically. I mean, you can also hear it probably. Yeah, but I guess this needs to be like this because if it would be out of metal or something, it would potentially be too heavy. And then when you wear them and one side, it just sticks on one side, would be much more heavy than the other one. And that would probably be also not great. Therefore, I can understand that it's made of a bit plastic, you know, it is fine. All right, so another thing I recognized is the Bluetooth stability. It is quite good, I would say. I went outside with them and I made a test how far I can move away from my device without breaking connection. I was quite happy with it. It was around 30 steps, like footsteps, 35 footsteps without any issue. Also, when wearing them in my home, I easily could go to the next room or the room after this, and I didn't lose any connections at all. Another thing is, I would have preferred actually if this little dongle had another button maybe. Like it just has one button here, as you can see, for turning it on and off, and also like pairing them. I would have preferred if there would be another button to maybe like switch the track you're listening to, for example, or making a volume adjustment, but it's not in here. I mean, it's okay, but I would prefer it if it had something like this. Also to note, this one does have a little microphone in it, so you could potentially make calls also from them, like when somebody calls you, you can take the call and answer them. All right, so if you are currently don't want to use them wirelessly, it's also possible to use them with a cable. Or if you're, for example, charging your wireless module, the module does have a battery capacity from around 5 to 7 hours, depending on how loud you listen to music, of course. But if you're charging them, you can use them still with a cable. So important here is to know you can also use an TRRS cable, meaning you just plug one side, like one cable here, and the other one can be empty. It's just important that you plug that cable in the side where the normal wireless module comes and not in the other one. So that's just something you can also use. It's nice to have, I guess. I really need to tell you one thing though. One thing I really didn't like about them is when you turn them on and it makes a really loud beeping sound. Like it says power on and makes a really loud beeping sound. I would suggest if you turn them on, do that not on your head, turn them on here already, and after this beeping sound, put them on your head. I don't know why they make it so loud. I can understand why there are a beeping sound, for example, to show like, hey, it is working, the connection is there, there's audio output out of them, but not that loud, please. All right, let's come to the sound itself. The bass is quite adequate, I would say. For a wireless open back headphone, it's quite decent actually. I have the feeling like it is rather focused on details a bit more rather than on hard hitting bass. But it is still quite enjoyable and usable. About the treble, it is rather laid back. It is not fatiguing, but you have a headphone here that is rather lean to the more bright sound signature. The mids are quite in the center, I have to say. I have the feeling like the soundstage is rather on a smaller side. Here's a little difference while using wirelessly against using them with a separate DAC and amp. While using them wirelessly, I have the feeling that the soundstage is a little bit smaller, more narrow, than using it, for example, with the Mojo 2 DAC and amp combo device. But in general speaking, the soundstage of them is rather more focused like on being intimate a bit, more on the smaller side, I would say. Vocals are nicely presented. They're quite centralized. The imaging and layering is okay. You can pinpoint where these sounds are coming from or the instruments. I used them with gaming. I didn't have much trouble like hearing where footsteps are coming from or something. So it was quite usable. All right, so detail-wise, it is quite laid back. It doesn't show the details in your face. In comparison to the Sondara, for example, it is a bit less detailed, but little bit more warm sounding, I would say. Also, a little note, this little dongle here is a different one than the previous version of the Deva. The previous version had a Delta Sigma chip in it. This one does have the air-to-air chip in here. The only difference you can see visually is a little sentence, a little word here on top, but otherwise they look kind of the same. All right, let's come to an end now. Would I recommend using them? Yes, I would. If you're somebody who also really wants to have a wireless headphone option, because I think it's really nice to use them, for example, if you run around your house and wants to do some chores, to be able to still listen to your music. And just a little side note here, if you plan on really exercising badly, headbanging or anything like this, that could be a little bit challenging because they don't have much clamp force and could potentially slide a bit more easy from your head, at least from mine. Therefore, always if you just do slide chores, I'm just walking around or lying in bed with them or something without wanting to have a cable, perfect. Works good. Otherwise, I would say we are finished now. Thank you for watching and hit the like and subscribe button to see more, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.